On KSL 5 News at 10.
He fired several shots.
A major twist in last night's deadly protest shooting.
Witnesses say Gamboa raised the weapon in a firing position and began running toward the crowd.
The man accused of murder never fired a shot.
He wasn't the person who caused the homicide. He wasn't the person who caused the death.
Family and friends now mourning the loss of an innocent bystander killed by a stray bullet from a protest peacekeeper.
Afa was a beautiful, loving person with a big, bright spirit.
Shelby Lofton has an exclusive interview with a longtime friend of the Utah man who leaves behind a wife and 2 young children.
KSL News at 10 starts now.
Joining us on this busy Sunday night, we begin tonight with new details on the deadly shooting during the No Kings protest in Salt Lake City last night.
Throughout the day, we have been learning more about what happened and who was involved. News specialist Mike Hedrick is live in Salt Lake City anchoring our coverage tonight.
Hey guys, I'm live along State Street right here. This is where it all played out 24 hours ago, little more than that. A growing memorial has been set up here along State Street. You can see people throughout the day have putting down flowers. They've made signs. They put candles out here, notes supporting and just showing love for the victim in this. We have a team of reporters who have been covering this, as mentioned, for the past 24 hours since this all played out. Daniela Rivera, she's following the suspect's past, the history, possible charges that he could be facing. Also, Shelby Lofton spoke with some of the friends of the victim. We're going to start things off, though, with Andrew Adams. Andrew Adams talked with police and has more now on the investigation.
Police say protest peacekeepers spotted the suspect go behind a wall, pull out a rifle, manipulate it, and then run toward the crowd. So investigators say one peacekeeper opened fire at the guy and hit him and an innocent bystander in the middle of a chaotic scene downtown.
In the middle of a No Kings protest that brought thousands of demonstrators downtown. Sudden gunfire stunned everyone.
He fired several shots. The crowd dispersed. I got to cover.
Witnesses too close to the action to want to show their faces described a confusing scene.
There were 3 men in green vests, and then next thing I know, one of them pulls out a handgun.
And now, a day later,
This incident unfolded very quickly.
Salt Lake City police are providing context to a shooting that ended up killing a man.
Our preliminary investigation shows that our victim was not the intended target, but rather an innocent bystander participating in the demonstration.
According to investigators, the guys in green vests were apparent peacekeepers with the protest group, and they watched a man identified as 24-year-old Arturo Gamboa go behind a wall, pull out a rifle, and begin to manipulate it.
Witnesses say Gamboa raised the weapon in a firing position and began running toward the crowd. One of the individuals fired 3 rounds, striking Gamboa and tragically striking the man who later died.
The chief says the peacekeeper who opened fire is cooperating with detectives, while Gamboa is under arrest on suspicion of murder. Officers in jail documents say Gamboa's actions showed depraved indifference.
What happened last night was sudden and alarming and not representative of our values here in Salt Lake City.
Police offering their condolences to the family of the victim after the shooting nobody saw coming.
It was going very well and peaceful. This came out of nowhere.
So you heard in the story that police say Gamboa's actions showed depraved indifference. Depraved indifference is a legal term and can be applied to a homicide charge. Police will be screening the case, and we'll see what charge is ultimately filed by them. Andrew Adams, KSL 5 News.
Andrew, thank you. As mentioned, Daniela Rivera, our investigative team member, she's going to look more into the legal ramifications that could be facing here with this suspect. We're going to have more on that in a few moments. Now, you probably heard in Andrew's story there. He talked about peacekeepers. What we wanted to find out when it comes to a situation like this, what is the role of a peacekeeper? What does a peacekeeper really actually do? So here's what we found out. The Peace and Justice Action League of Spokane says the peacekeepers are trained demonstrators who help the flow and the tone of a demonstration. They're there to diffuse and de-escalate conflicts. They help maintain energy by constructively participating in the demonstration. And they act as a buffer between demonstrators and police, counter demonstrators and hecklers. We have reached out to 5051 of Utah who hosted the protests, asked about the peacekeepers at last night's protest. We have not yet heard back from them. Back here live along State Street in the memorial. Police have identified the suspect, or the victim here, 39-year-old Arthur Ah Loo. News specialist Shelby Lofton joins us right now. And Shelby, you had a chance to speak to some of the friends of the victim here. What they have to say? What did we learn about him?
We learned a lot about him. We learned that he was really widely known within the Pacific Islander community. We also know that he was well known within the fashion world. He was a well-known fashion designer. We learned that his name Arthur, Samoan, is Afa, and that's how people knew him. He lived here in Utah with his 2 young children and his wife, and those closest to him told me today that he was peacefully protesting last night when he was shot.
We lost a very important person this morning.
In the hours after a protest turned into mayhem, some of the marchers returned to downtown to pay their respects to a man they never knew.
We all need to, definitely process this in our own way and hopefully come together.
Utah State Representative Verona Maunga knew him very well.
Afa and I often refer to each other as family.
She was with Afa Ah Loo at the No Kings rally at Pioneer Park.
Afa is a person who believed in equity and equality for all people.
She says she wasn't with him when the shooting happened.
Everyone went running.
But when Ah Loo didn't check in with his friends, they knew something had gone wrong.
It was a great time until it wasn't. Unfortunately, there was a terrible act of violence.
The 39-year-old father and renowned fashion designer from Samoa recently became an American citizen.
He wanted to be very much a part of what America is and a part of the American dream.
He competed on Project Runway, but Maunga says he was always willing to make clothes for the people in his life.
If he knew that I was going to a gala or a ball, he would call me up and say, hey, come to my studio and take my measurements and design me a gown.
He also led workshops teaching people how to sew.
He brought joy and laughter to community, and he shared his art and his talents so freely with people.
Maunga says she's thinking of his family.
He was a husband and a father of 2 beautiful children who cared about people and cared about community.
I also asked how the victim's family is doing tonight. I was told they really are asking for privacy, but this was a man who knew and loved people all around the world, so his loss is being felt around the globe tonight.
He had a huge impact on a lot of people in a positive way, right? I mean, that's really what we've learned over the course of the last 24 hours. All right, Shelby, thank you. We appreciate that. All right, so let's kind of turn gears here a little bit, right? Let's talk about the suspect in this case right now. Police have identified the suspect here with the rifle as 24-year-old Arturo Roberto Gamboa. Following the shooting by a protest peacekeeper, he was taken to the hospital. When Gamboa was released, police booked him into the Salt Lake County Jail on murder charges. KSL investigator Daniela Rivera has been looking into legal aspects of this, as mentioned here. This is a really interesting case, guys, because he did not pull the trigger, right? We know he didn't pull the trigger. It was one of these peacekeepers. So how does that work out? How could he possibly be charged in this murder? We're going to find out from Daniela coming up in just a few moments, though. Until then, back to you.